Hello everyone, Nigel here with you, Nigel's Modelling Bench. Little quickie for you today. Simon Allen, who's a subscriber to the channel, has asked me about when I did the review of the Italeri 112 Stratos, I talked about stripping this off. Now, many Tamiya kits and certainly other manufacturers these days as well come with this sort of silver painted parts now, as you can see, and a lot of modelers like to strip them. And remove the silver paint. This also applies to chrome plating. There's a couple of reasons for this, and the chrome plating and this, they're the same reasons why modelers would want to do this, in case you're wondering why I would want to do this. And then there's a couple of reasons specifically with this silver stuff. First of all, specifically with the silver stuff, you can see we've got these lights here, and they're not anything like bright enough. Okay, they need to be chrome, so we'll get those stripped, we'll spray them black, and then we'll spray them with a chrome and get them really bright. You can see we've also got some bulbs in there as well, which is nice. Then there's another reason, again, this applies to the silver paint and the chrome. You can see on the edge here where the sprue gate is, when you actually take the part off the sprue, you are left with whatever colour the plastic is. I'm not sure, it's probably going to be white. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's white. So you'll end up with a white bit that you've got to touch up, which on the edge of there is not so bad, I suppose, with silver paint, but it's a very, very prominent part of the model. You can see these surrounds here, they all bulge out of the housings, and it's going to look, you know, not good. Particularly when you get to bits like here, you know, or bits like here with these filler caps, it does become a bit of an issue. The other reason is, as you'll see with the silver paint, you can also see this with chrome. I'm not sure if I can get this on the camera, but certainly on this break here, I don't know if you can see it, but it's like the paint is really thick, and it's like run down. You can see it on this one here as well. There's a build-up of paint there just in front of my finger, and it looks bloody awful. Never mind on these backward discs, it doesn't matter anyway, but yeah, it looks bloody awful. You've also got here, you've got a rear view mirror and your two door mirrors. Well, that's nothing like reflective enough. I've got some chrome foil I can put on that, I think. So basically what we're going to do is strip it. Now there's two different ways of stripping this. Years and years ago I always used oven cleaner. Okay, so you get your Mr. Muzzle oven cleaner, put the sprue in a nice sealed bag, make sure it doesn't have any air holes in it. You know, make sure it's a sealed bag. The best way to check it is to take the bag like this, blow it up. And if it doesn't stay up like this one does, it's not a sealed bag. It needs to be a sealed bag. So like you can see on here, these have got these anti-suffocation holes. So no good, it needs to be sealed. What you do is spray the oven clean in there, close the top up, and then just leave it overnight, let it soak, you know, and then take it out and rinse it off in the sink. And generally that gets all the chrome off and everything. If this is actual paint and not plating, you may want to try some IPA. In fact, we'll try that now, because you may not want to go down the bleach route. So if this is actually paint, it will come off with IPA. And it looks like it probably isn't. It's not touching it at all. I don't know if the Mr. Colour levelling thinners will touch it. It's hotter than IPA. You certainly don't want to go down the tool cleaner route or the levelling thinners rapid route, because they're hot, they'll damage the plastic. No, they're not. That's not touching it either. Oh, hang on, I think it might be. Yes, it is. Okay, so you could actually soak it in Mr. Colour levelling thinners. However, I'm not sure, it may make the plastic very brittle, so be very careful. The other way of doing it, of course, is bleach, and I've got here, this is Asda's bleach. Let me cough there. Yeah, so I've used this before. I think I used it in the World War I model series, which should be back this week or next. Well, it's Christmas Day, isn't it? Well, maybe I'll do something, we'll see. So anyway, and obviously now we need a container to put the bleach in, and this isn't full, so, and I'm not going shopping anytime soon, so I'm not going to go and buy a new one, and I don't have anything bigger. It's really annoying because I had a plastic chocolate box that was given to me, and it was half empty, and I thought, I'll take all the chocolates out and then I'll put the plastic in the recycling. I did that on Wednesday night, and the bin was collected yesterday. This would have fitted in there perfectly, so that's annoying. But never mind. What we'll do, if you're doing something like a truck or an American car where you've got, like, you know, headers, valve covers, possibly brakes, then wheels which are all chromed. You can cut them off the sprue because you know what they all are. It doesn't really matter. Like I could take all these brakes off because I know what's what. They're all the same. They're all parts 19 and 20. These lights, what we could do, what I need to do is basically cut it down to make this actually fit in there. So what we're going to do is, first of all, is cut away this sprue here because that's just superfluous. We don't need that. And then what we can do is we can cut this through here, and then we'll remove all of this here. Okay, remove all of that. Okay, and there we go. There's one just falling off on its own, so that's pretty cool. So we've got all of that there. Now what we can do is cut this here, cut that there. So now we have separate parts of that. I mean, we could actually cut those large sprue gates off rather than waste bleach stripping bits that we're going to throw away anyway. So they can go in there. I mean, we could take the disc completely off the sprue. Let's do that. So we'll cut the disc, we'll cut these parts completely off the sprue. Notice when I cut them, I'm using Tamiya nippers and I'm cutting away from the part. I don't want to go taking chunks out of the parts, even though they're going to have to be modified anyway. We'll leave these bits on the sprue for their identification, although we probably don't need to, but we will. Then here, what I'll do is I'll cut down through here, here and here. Okay, so that one will fit in there nicely, and then that one will fit in there nicely. So that's that done. So what we'll do is we'll take those bits out, we'll put the sprues at the bottom, and then these bits can sit in on the top. In fact, we'll put them in that way up. Okay. In fact, no, we won't. We'll put them in this way up. I'm sorry, guys. What I'm concerned about is the air pockets. If we leave those headlights that way, we'll end up with air pockets in them. So there we go. Get those in there. Alright, and then that will do. Now I know the bleach won't hurt the plastic. If it does, then it'll be the first time ever. So we just take the bleach. I know I should be wearing gloves and goggles and all that, but literally the bathroom is 5 seconds behind me, so if I splash or spill, that I will run. Okay, so I just pour this in here. Make sure the parts are all submerged and they're floating. So there we go. Okay, get the top back on the bleach. Make sure any pets or anything are not in the room, just in case you get a spill. You don't want to be spilling this on the carpet and then turn around and find your dog or your cat is licking it up. So there we go. So Dottie's in the kitchen, being nice and quiet, which makes a change. Why is that disc floating? It's got air trapped in it. This is the trouble, you see. If you get air trapped in the parts, they float. And you don't want them to do that. They'd rather be that way up by the look of it. There we go. So they're all submerged now. Except for that little swine. Go on. Now we should find that in no time at all this will start to dissolve. Now it could be that it doesn't work on this particular one. Maybe Italeri use a different process, but I've recently done the Hasegawa Sopwith Camel. That had this horrible silver paint on it as well, and the bleach took that off no problem. So there we go. Maybe it would have been better to put these discs under the sprues, because that way they would stay submerged. Because obviously, if they're not submerged, they're not going to get... if they're not submerged, there's bubbles actually stuck to the surface. So get off! If they're not submerged, they're not going to strip. So, but we'll leave that. Yeah, I can see it's starting to, yeah, it's affecting it. I can scrape that off already. Okay, so we'll leave that. and then we'll come back to it tomorrow and have a look. Alright, here we are 12 hours later. We'll have a look, see what they're like. And as you can see, the chrome, whatever it is, isn't coming off anything like as fast as it did on my Sopwith Camel. So we can see here we've got plastic parts. Of course we've got plastic parts, they're all plastic parts, but you can see that one there is pretty much done. Okay, but as you can see with this one here, where the plating's a lot thicker, which is why we're taking it off, you can see that it's still on there. Alright, so it's just a case of leaving it. The bleach won't affect the plastic, you know, like Mr. Colour leveling thinners might. I noticed after the first hour that nothing much was happening, so I took one of the discs, maybe it was that one actually, which helped it, and I put it in some IPA for half an hour, and it didn't touch it. So maybe it did soften it, and the bleach has done it and finished it. I mean, we've still got some there in the edges of the ejector pin marks. We've still got some there, but basically it's taking it all off. You can see this part of the sprue here has not been submerged in the bleach, so it's hardly been affected. But we've got, you know, you can see where the bleach has been thickest. Let me just grab it with this piece of tissue. So you can see there, you know, where we've got, which is the reason we're taking it off, because the paint's so bloody thick and it looks horrible. But and that is not, again, that is not a slant on Italeri. Everybody's going to think as soon as I say something negative, it's a dig at Italeri. It's not. I mean, even Tamiya, we stripped this off because it's not nice. You know, the Hasegawa, as I said, the Hasegawa Sopwith Camel, that wasn't very nice. And they're clearly doing it for, you know, to make the model a little more attractive. You know, chrome parts, PE parts, you know, vinyl tubing, all makes a kit more attractive. It turns it into a multimedia kit rather than just a, you know, like an Airfix starter set kit, which is just plastic. So yeah, you know, or like, you know, a 1/48 scale Tamiya Spitfire. It may not have any photo etch, it's just a plastic kit. But they try and add all this stuff in, and it sort of makes the kit more value for money. I wish they'd spend more time on getting their moulding correct instead of wasting time putting this silver paint on. But hey ho, that is a dig at Italeri. So there we go. I've also started on a video series on how to improve the body, so keep your eyes peeled for that one, because I think that after showing, you know, how bad my body was, not my body, it is pretty bad, but the actual car body on the 1/12 Lancia Stratos, I thought I owe it to you to do a video on how I go about correcting it and how to go about it, so you can watch that and enjoy that. That'll be probably a two-parter. Anyway, I will see you all later today, and we'll see how that comes after the 24 hours. Okay then guys, here we are. This is now 24 hours later, and as you can see, I managed to splash the bleach onto the lid, therefore I've got it coming out. So there we go. Right, I've got it on my hands as well, never mind. So as we can see, here we are now, as I say, 24 hours later. We've still got a couple of stubborn bits. We can see on here we have a couple of bits here. There's a bit on that handbrake lever. There's a little bit on that navigator's light, so I'm going to leave it in here overnight again. That sprue there looks as though it's pretty much done. The brakes look pretty much done. There's not really much left to come off, but I don't think it can hurt to leave it on there a bit longer. The other thing you need to look out for, if you look here, you can see that these trumpets, I will go and wash my hands immediately, guys. You can see these trumpets haven't quite stripped in the bottom. That's because when I put them in, there was air bubbles in there. And you can see the same here. You can see the same there. So make sure you don't have any air bubbles. Alright. So we'll put that back in there. And then what I'm going to do is grab the brush and just poke and prod at it so we don't have any air bubbles. You can generally see the air come out when you poke and prod it. but the silver is kind of dissolving into the bleach. It's not sort of discolouring it at all. You can see in there, you see there was an air bubble in that light because we've still got the silver paint in the bottom of the light, look. So again, we'll put that in there and then we'll give it a good poke and a prod. Make sure there's no air in there. So we can see that how much sharper everything is now. You can see that everything is much, much sharper and cleaner because it doesn't have this horrible great thick layer of paint on it. So so there we go. So Simon, you asked for a tutorial and you got one. That is how to do it. So clearly all you do then is swill the parts off in some warm water. Obviously we'll pour the bleach back into the bottle with a funnel. You can see it's discolouring the mat here. We'll swill the parts off in some warm water. We will, and then I think I'll probably swill them off with some IPA just to be sure we've got no residue left on there. One of the problems I had with the Hasegawa kit I did was I'm just going to grab one of these baby wipes. These are for the puppy. One of the problems I had with the Sopwith Camel, come on, come out, was who designs these packets? This is ridiculous. The designer sort of pulls one out when you take one out, but then if you pull one out, you can't get the lid back on. So yeah, just wipe this bleach off my fingers. It's starting to burn a touch. So yeah, basically, swill it off in some warm water, let it dry, swill it off in some IPA. That's right. When I did the Hasegawa Sopwith Camel, I found that the glue wouldn't work, and people were suggesting that it could be a residue left from the bleach, but I don't think it was because I was sanding the joints before I glued them. The glue still didn't work, but we can try that out on this one anyway because we've got some bits of sprue to play with. And I've also got some bits of sprue here that haven't been in bleach, so we can see what the difference is like. Anyway, so there you go, guys. There's another little sort of how-to video for you. Not so much how I don't want to be the person who's professing to tell you how to do things. I just want to suggest how you might want to go about it. But as I say, Simon asked for a tutorial, so there you go. There is your tutorial. I will see you all soon. Thank you for watching, and bye for now.